Amen. You guys hear me? Amen.
So that was my story. That's me and my wife's story. And so let me just tell you a part of my life. As you guys seen in the play, you know, I started off as a little kid in the barrio, just looking up to the drug dealers, looking up to the gang members. I remember at 14 years old, I used to get jumped just coming home from school. You know, like you guys seen in the first scene, I got jumped like 3-4 times from the gang that was in the neighborhood I lived in and other gangs. And then I got tired of it. So, you know, I started hanging out with this one kid. He was selling drugs in the corner. And I was watching him, and I was watching the guys, giving them respect, the buyers, giving them respect. And so I started getting into with him. I started selling PCP. And then once I started selling that, I seen in the customer's eyes the respect they used to give me. I'm 14 years old, there's this 35-year-old man coming up to me with their eyes like, you got it, you got it. And it made me feel, you know, I was like, important. So I got addicted to that feeling. I didn't care about the money. I didn't care about nothing. I didn't care about girls, as you guys seen that. I just cared about respect. And so I lived off of that. And as I started getting older, you know, I joined the gang. I started getting more involved into the drugs. And then I just started becoming a drug addict. And as you guys seen, how later on, years went by, I met my wife. And I didn't have no respect for women. I didn't care. And when my son was born, he was born 7 months, when she was 7 months. So he was tiny, he was premature. So some complications happened at the hospital. But you know what? I didn't take care of my wife. I didn't like, you know, be there for her, you know, rub her belly, all that good stuff that men should do. I was out doing my thing, just being, you know, just not being a good man. I was her boyfriend at the time. And so when he was born, I beat myself up for it because he was born disabled. And that guilt really ate up my heart, ate up my mind, and I just tried to hide on drugs, tried to hide on partying and girls, and that guilt didn't want to go nowhere. It was still in there. That's why I became more violent, more abusive. You know, some of my friends in my neighborhood didn't even know all this was going on at home. And it was just in me. I kept that private. And so as I got older, you know, my wife got tired of it. She got fed up, but then she got saved. You know, God changed her life. She wasn't really a bad person, but she changed even to a better person. And when I seen that change in her, you know, instead of, you know, enjoying her more, I took advantage of it. I started doing more stuff, being worse, thinking she ain't gonna go nowhere, look at how she is. And she got to a point that she got fed up and left me. I was alone. That's the only person that really loved me. You know, and I felt that I was it. I was 27 years old, and I was still living like I was 14 years old. I was still a mess. So one day, you know, she had told me before that God could change me. I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in none of that stuff. You know, I used to go to churches and just play the part. And so one day I went to her church. That day I got tired. I was sitting there. I was actually at my job, and then I felt like something was telling me, stop working, go to church. And so I stopped, I went to church. I didn't even know what was going on in the church. I just know that the pastor came out and he said, if you want to give your life to Jesus, raise your hand. I didn't know what that meant. The only little thing I knew was that when my wife told me that he could change me. So I raised my hand. I was fed up with my life. And when I raised my hand, I came to the front and I prayed.